it, but we often ask people, what's your Everest, don't we? Because everybody has, like, you know, it could be like a 10K run for one person, or it could actually be Everest for somebody else. So everyone has like their kind of goal in life, or could have if they thought about it hard enough, or had ambitions for themselves that were kind of beyond what they thought their capabilities were. And that's kind of where we try and encourage people to get a bit of personal growth in there as well. So it's like along the same kind of lines. I love it. I only sort of stumbled upon that yesterday when I was having a look at your website, but it's a really good one.
Love it, lads, love it.
And so what would you guys say, given your kind of backgrounds, and like obviously you've had quite interesting journeys to hear, like Scott, you've been through a series of different businesses that you've been involved with or set up, and Drew had an extensive military background. I'm sure you've had some like massive ups and downs with that, and crazy experiences, I'm sure of it. Like what would you each say is like your motto for success? Like how have you got to where you got to, and what do you kind of rely on it out of your own like value system or your own character? What do you
I think you really need to be honest with yourself. Like, you're gonna have good days and bad days, and like I'm always a positive person, but there's gonna be days that I'm not positive, and you're gonna have external factors, and you really need to kind of practice the sense of stoicism, where, you know, whatever thing can happen, you know, the worst things in the world can happen to you, but you have to just, you know, stand by what you're going to do, and, you know, just go with it. Because if you spend too much time focused on the bad things, and like, yeah, a lot of bad things have happened in my life, and I know that these could have happened to other people, they might not have bothered them, and it could happen to other people and they would be completely floored by them. So you really need to, like, just, and a nice way, you need to get over it. You need to just keep going forward and stick with the game. And it's just about how you react to things as well. You know, you can evolve. You know, you could drive home, you could have a really bad day, but then realistically, you have a lot to be thankful for. So in terms of business, like in terms of moving forward as a person and achieving your goals, as I say, like whenever you're doing training, I'm sure you've seen it, where you're going to have setbacks and knockbacks, and that cannot define you. You know, you really just have to keep going forward. And when things don't make sense, take the time to evaluate instead of getting caught up in your emotions and making rash decisions. Just reevaluate what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and focus on what you need to focus on. And just kind of narrow that, you know, all this jargon in your head, narrow it to one space, and then set a plan and go for it. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to go anywhere. I really think that. And you really need to, you really need to have a plan 100% going forward.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's about knowing yourself as well, isn't it? And what you can like fall back on, and kind of having that, I suppose it's like a combination of experience, isn't it? And knowing, that you can survive a lot of stuff that happens around you, but also just that kind of self-reliance and determination and integrity and stuff. Yeah.
No, definitely, yeah.
What would you say is your magic formula for success, for where you've got to so far?
Yeah, probably just the same as what Drew had said there. You know, the kind of stoicism, that's a big thing for me. And, you know, I think a lot of people get kind of crippled by overthinking things instead of just doing. You know, like, you've been successful up until now, you know, whether that be in business or, you know, if you're a professional athlete or, you know, whatever it may be in your own career, just rely on what you've done to get you to wherever you need to be, and just keep like replicating that. I think that's a big thing for me. And even that day that I spoke about on the side of the hill that day, like, we didn't have a time to think, we just had to kind of do. And it obviously was like, it was a success for us. So if you can just replicate that, and that's what I tend to do, is just replicate that in my personal life. Obviously always having a plan and thinking, right, where is it I want to go to get from A to B, but just don't be bogged down by overthinking things. That's a big thing for me.
Yeah, that's one of your favourite sayings, isn't it?
But I was saying to Vix before she headed off or whatever, if something should go wrong, God forbid it does, what's the next thing? What's the best decision this moment, this actual second? What's the next best thing to do? And in 5 seconds, it might be a different, but now, what's the best thing to do now? And you'll always reset, go from here. Don't panic.
Yeah.
And that's when you get flustered, and you're going to make a decision out of character, or just to rush it, to get it on. I'm in trouble, but just think.
But you learned that from rugby, didn't you? That's where, I thought that was what you said. That's where you got that from, was like, just like, you know, you played badly in the last
yeah,
5 minutes. Like, what's the point?
Drop a pill.
Yeah.
That's not like me. From now, get in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.